Flavor family, what is up? It is Dessi, Rose, and me in the kitchen to share Dessi's paleo bread recipe, which is so good. She teased it on Instagram stories the other week and the fans went crazy, so we thought we had to make a YouTube video and a blog post. Tell everyone about this bread, babe.
Yeah, it's a paleo bread and I got the inspiration from a bread you bought recently.
Yes!
It's called Base Culture. Yep, and it's made with almond butter. So I'm like, okay, let me experiment. Let me check out the ingredients and reverse engineer this bread. And it worked. So it's very close to the store-bought one. And let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Before we get to the recipe, you guys, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. But you can tell Rose is kind of excited about something. She doesn't want you to miss a video any week. So below the video is a little bell icon. Enable all notifications. That way you get a push on your phone as soon as we go live. All right, what's up?
All right, first things first, we have some flax seeds here.
Okay.
And we want to grind them. I mean, you can use a ground flax meal, but it's always best to grind your own because the flavor and the texture of the bread will be so much better.
Now, if you're wondering why we're going through the extra work of grinding your own flax seeds, it's because these are golden flax seeds. It helps make the color of the bread a little bit lighter. If you want, just buy the flaxseed meal. You can get it at Trader Joe's, it's fine. But these are darker flax and these are lighter, which gives the color of your bread a slightly lighter color. So that's what you're looking for the consistency of the flax meal.
So I'm gonna measure a packed quarter cup of these ground flax seeds. Next up, I'm gonna add the quarter cup of ground flax seeds to half a cup of water. And we're going to let this mixture sit for a good 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so for our dry ingredients, we want 3/4 of a cup of arrowroot starch. You can also use tapioca starch. And arrowroot starch or tapioca starch are paleo, and that's why we're using them. Next up, we want to add a tablespoon and a half of psyllium husk.
That's going to give the bread that glutinous texture, right?
You got to be careful with psyllium husk because if you add too much, then the bread will become a little too spongy. If you add too little, it's not enough. So I think a tablespoon and a half will be just right. Next up, a teaspoon of salt.
It's all measured. You can just dump the whole thing in there.
That's a teaspoon of salt, Bebo?
Pretty much.
I just want to do my own measuring. Let's not mess with the recipe, huh? Here we go.
Okay.
A teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, so I'm gonna mix everything together. For the wet ingredients, we're gonna start off with 4 eggs.
Rose was getting a little antsy. She wanted to be in the action here.
All right, now we wanna beat the eggs until they get very fluffy.
That's what's great about these videos. I normally don't have anything to do. Now I'm the babysitter for these kind of videos with Dessi.
Cheeks.
Cheeks don't lie.
Okay, this looks good. Now we want to add 1 tablespoon of honey. And we're also going to add our flax meal. Look at how gelatinous it became once it's set in the water for about 10 minutes.
Rose is focused on those ingredients like no one's business here. Little baker in the making here.
Let's beat the mixture for a couple more minutes. Now we add 1 cup of almond butter. And the last ingredient, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar and the baking soda will act as our leavener. Okay, now let's add our wet ingredients on top of the dry. All right, and now mix everything together for a couple more minutes.
Now, a couple common questions on the Flav City Instagram were, does this bread taste eggy? Not at all, right? It's not like a lot of keto breads. This has the flour and the almond butter in there. It makes it real savory. If you're wondering why we're doing eggs and flaxseed, it's because it's all about the texture of the bread, making it glutinous. And if you're wondering if you can substitute the eggs with something else, unfortunately not for this recipe.
No, but I'll work on another one that's vegan. I mean, look at how stretchy the batter already looks. And now we transfer it to our baking dish. I have a loaf pan here lined with parchment paper. The parchment paper is just going to help me to pull out the bread once it's cooled down. Okay, I'm going to smooth out the batter here and pop this in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes.
After about 20 minutes, stick a probe thermometer in the middle of the bread and then set the target temperature to 199 degrees. It's going to take about 35 minutes, but this is a great way not to overbake your bread.
That was just about 35 minutes, and look at the bread, it looks perfect.
Amazing.
The inside temperature was 199.
And the crust has a really nice crunch on there. Let's do the ASMR. Harder.
All right, we're gonna let the bread cool for about 20 minutes, and then we'll take it out of the tin and slice it up. All right, let's take this out of the tin. All right, let's cut a few slices and taste this bread.
Looks great. The crust is nice and crusty. Have those nice air pockets in there. All right, Rose woke up from her nap just in time, my dear. It smells fantastic, guys. Crust is nice and crunchy. It's bread. It literally is bread. Great texture. Has a nice chewy glutinous texture. Flavor is on point. I made French toast with this weekend. Dynamite. But making a sandwich that is grain-free or paleo with this is the way to go.
It's the perfect sandwich bread.
Zero eggy flavor. Wow.
Yeah.
Dessi nailed it, you guys. Recipe down below in the description box. You got to make it. When you make it, share it on Pinterest and tag us on social media. We have the macros, storage, all that good stuff. If you want Dessi's keto bread, the recipe is down there too. But this one's actually better. I love this because it's just like bread. Like, subscribe, share. These are a lot of work to make. And Rose, my dear, has to suffer through all this filming that Mommy and Daddy do. We got 2 videos going below us right now. But Rose, Art, Dessi, and I will see you very soon. Until then, we say unto you like we always do. Hashtag keep on cooking. Mad love and peace. Good job, baby.